You might be asking yourself, should I purchase in 2025? Should I wait to 2026? Should I refinance? Should I wait? Should I purchase, period? Or should I just continue to rent? Those are some good questions. They're definitely good questions to ask. And then I think to myself, sometimes there's just so much information out there, which could be pros and cons to these phones. A lot of information on TikTok, a lot of information on IG, YouTube, but you have to ask yourself, are you ready to purchase? Are you ready to refinance? Meaning that did you take the proper steps to look at your credit? Have you saved any money? Have you looked at your bills? Say you're looking to refinance, you're trying to do a debt consolidation. There's a lot of things that you want to consider first before you go down that rabbit hole, if you're ready or not. Because I think once you do the proper research on yourself, take yourself through that financial checkup to see if you're really ready to purchase in 2025 and 2026. And I know that the big conversations right now are rates, politics, what the president is doing. But I would start with yourself first. So if you're saying, you know what, I want to buy a house, but what do I need to do in order to qualify? Because the rates could drop down to 1%, or 2%, 3%. But if you don't have certain things in place, it's not going to matter because you're probably not going to get qualified for a mortgage. So we want to make sure that you get yourself ready at all times. What they say all the time, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So the same thing applies to real estate, or when you're looking to not even using a mortgage, but say you're going to get a personal loan or a credit card or auto loan. There's certain things that you need to have set up first before you make the big decision. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're looking to buy in 2025 or 2026. There's a few things that I want you to look at before you make the big decision on what you should do. So first, as always, like my favorite subject, what people always ask me about is credit. What should my credit score be? And so I wanted to set a baseline. And don't get upset, don't get offended when I give certain credit scores, because it just depends on what you're looking to do. But there are certain scores I see that it doesn't really matter what lending institution that you reach out to, you should be in good hands if you have your credit scores at a certain amount. So with all that being said, so I would say you want to have at least a 660 credit score. Let's start with this 660. And there's a reason why, and this is my opinion, not that, anything that I have that are truly facts for every single lender, but seeing that I'm a broker, I have an opportunity to see a lot of different lenders out there and what they're looking for. So if your credit score is at least a 660, then you will qualify for most, down payment assistance programs. You're starting to see better rates when you get to a 660. And there are programs out there that, unless you have a certain credit score, you're not going to qualify for it, especially when you get into people that are self-employed and you're trying to buy investment properties. So there are certain standards, minimum requirements that lender is going to require you to have in order for you to qualify. So start with your credit. And you can always go to your, annualcreditreport.com. And before, you could get a credit report every 6 months for free, but I believe they changed that to you can pull your credit every single week. So that's a great place to start. So you don't have to worry about paying for that. A lot of people get upset or have an issue with paying for the credit reports. So I'm going to eliminate any reasons for you not to do that. You should be on top of your credit anyway. So if you go to annualcreditreport.com, you can go to Credit Karma. And don't get too caught up on what website you use. The biggest thing is just getting familiar with your credit report. So if anyone asks you about your credit report, you should know, having at least an idea of what your 3 credit scores are. Understand that there's a TransUnion, there's an Equifax, and there's an Experian. And just get familiar with that credit. And a lot of credit cards now, they offer this service. So if you have an American Express, if you have a Capital One card, you can log into your account and request your credit. So get familiar with that and see, okay, where's my credit score? And so beyond the credit score, because the credit score is just one component of what we're looking at. We look at the credit score, but we also look at, okay, what are your balances? What are you paying out monthly? Better known as your debt ratio. So how much debt that you paying out a month compared to the income that you have, which is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's really important when it comes to your credit. So credit score, have at least a 660 credit score. And if you don't, It's okay. If you're not looking to buy like right now, you have time to work on it. The beautiful thing about credit, it can always be repaired. It can always be repaired. So look at your credit score. So if your credit score is above a 660 and you have your debt in check as far as what you're paying out monthly, another thing to look at is see if you have any collections, because credit is a live credit report is constantly changing every single day. So it's not something that stays the same, a few months out of the year. It changes all the time. So if you have 5 trade lines, every single time one of your creditors report, it can change your credit score. Anytime you pull your credit, have someone pull your credit, it can change your credit score. So get familiar with that. Make sure you don't have any collections. And if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can always get that fixed. So either paying off the collections or calling that creditor to find out what you could do to get that matter resolved. Not going to dig too deep into trying to get the credit removed. I mean, the collections removed and stuff like that. If you have any questions about that, feel free to do your research on that or reach out to someone that specializes in credit repair, and they can help you out with that. So the bottom line is you got to do something about the credit. So if the credit score is above 660, you're familiar with your monthly payments and everything looks good, then you're ready to move on to the next stages, is understanding your pay. So if you're W-2 employee, uh, you need to be familiar with that. Okay, how much money do I make? You'll be surprised the amount of people that I speak to that they're not really sure how much money they make. They have an idea, but it's good for you to know what that is. So say you're a W-2 employee and you are salaried. It's good to know that you're salaried and have an idea what that is. Most lenders going to ask for 2 years of your W-2s. So right now it's still 2025. So we'll be asking for 2023 and 2024. And what we're doing with that, so let me stop here. It's really important to understand why people do certain things and with lenders. The reason why they ask for 2 years, because they want to get an idea if that income is increasing. They want to get an idea what type of history of income that you have coming in, because if it's not a steady flow of income, so say 2023 you made 60,000, ideally they want to see you make more than that. So that could be 65,000, 70,000 for the next year, and that's what they're looking at. And then also they may average out your income for the 2 years just to be on the safe side, to take more of a conservative approach. So that's if you W-2. If you salary, whatever your salary is, that's what a lender would use most of the time. So you just use your salary. If you're hourly employee, get familiar with that. So if you get paid $20 an hour, we're going to take your hourly wages and we're going to see how much money you made throughout the year, so we can verify your income. Because the whole idea behind all this is the lender want to make sure that when you're purchasing a house, that the monthly payment makes sense, it fits your budget, and that you can actually afford. It's all about affordability. And they want to make sure that whatever loan that they qualify you on, or what loan that I qualify you on, it makes sense for you. So just because you make $100,000 a year, they may take a little less than that, just to be sure that mortgage payment that you're paying for monthly makes sense. So yeah, so W-2s, we're going to collect two years of W-2s. We're going to look at your pay stubs, the last 30 days of your pay stubs. So we can look and see if you're hourly employee or if you're salaried. But the key thing is if you're a salary employee, usually we could use the full amount. Hourly is a little slightly different, but just get familiar with that. And also, I want to end with the pay stubs. See if there's any deductions. So if you have like child support coming out of there, the lender's going to take a look at that. If you're paying like alimony, the lender's going to take that into consideration, because once again, they want to make sure that whatever you're paying on monthly, that the mortgage payment is not going to put you in a bad situation. All right. So the next set of people I want to speak to, if you're self-employed, we could go a few different ways with this, but I'm going to keep it on the basics just to make sure that you guys are ready. So if you're self-employed, obviously you're not receiving pay stubs. Self-employment, we're going to look at either your tax returns. So it's 2025 right now, so we'll be looking at 2023 and 2024. Same thing. We want to make sure that the income is increasing every single year. That's the idea. Not saying that is mandatory that it happens. And if it does decrease, it's okay. More than likely, the lender would go with the lower amount. Take that conservative approach. You got to remember that. So we're looking at his tax returns. So we're not looking at gross. So if your business gross $500,000 a year, that's before you have all your deductions, your depreciation. So we look at the number after that. So your annual gross income for you as the self-employed person. So if you are 50-50 or you receive 25%, whatever that percentage is that you receive for the year, that's what we're going to use. And if you receive W-2s on top of that, if that's the case, or 1099s away from your self-employment, we're going to look at all those angles to see how much income can we use. So there's a multiple ways of using it, but ideally, well, just to kind of keep things basic, we're going to look at what is your net after all the deductions and depreciation has been factored into your income. So we're not going to just use the gross like we do with W-2s, because as a person that's self-employed, you do have expenditures that we have to account for, and we want to make sure that we get that right, because you can have someone that's self-employed that made 500,000 that year, but they only claim that they made 60,000. So we're going to go off the 60,000 just to make sure we get the number right, because that's what you reported into Uncle Sam. So if you 1099, we'll look at 1099, whatever you made for that year. If you receive multiple 1099s, we'll calculate all those numbers up for that particular year. Some lenders will take 1 year. Most of them, they want to see 2 years of your 1099s. The whole idea is to make sure that your income is properly calculated. Another thing that we could do with people that are self-employed is, say you don't want to use your tax returns at all, you could go with your bank statements. So if you have business bank statements and personal bank statements, if you send us 12 months, 24 months of bank statements, we can calculate all those deposits that's made into those accounts. And that's something that a lot of people that are self-employed miss that. Anytime I bring that up to someone self-employed, is like music to the ears, because a lot of times that work out more in your favor when we use your bank statements. So something else to consider. And the benefit of knowing all these things is, so if you're looking to purchase another year, 2 years, 3 years, you can properly structure this out the right way. And that's another reason why it's good to get prepared way before you're looking to make the purchase or you're looking to do a refinance, because now you can structure things out to make sure that nothing is missed. And when you send that into the lender, your loan officer, that everything looks good on that end there. So like I said, tax returns, your 1099s, your bank statements. We can also look at your P&L. There's a possibility we go strictly off your P&L. As long as it's been prepared by a CPA, then we can use that income as well. So there's a lot of options for you by being self-employed. So don't give up or cancel yourself out before you even get started. Make sure you speak to the right type of lending institution that understands how to calculate self-employment. So just your W-2 person, that's your person that's self-employed. So the last two things I want to get into is just saving money for your purchase. I can't overemphasize how important this is. There are a lot of people that are purchasing home for a first time, and they're looking to use a first time home buyers program, which is fine. That's great. And that's the reason why we have those programs out there. But even outside of that, it's good to save money. So if you know you're looking to buy in 2026, start saving money now. So if you know that you're making, let's say that you're making $5,000 a month, see, can you put aside $1,000? See, can you put aside $500 and just put that into a savings account? So every single time you get paid, just either transfer it over or do some type of automated withdrawal to put into a savings account for you. And you know that you're going to do that for a year. By the time that year gets here, you will have money in your savings account. It's good to have that in there. It doesn't matter if you're using a down payment assistance program or not. It does a couple of things. One, it makes your loan a lot stronger. Two, you need the money anyway, because even outside the real estate purchase, I always talk about that because it's so real. Even outside the real estate purchase itself, you still need money for your utilities. You need money for you to move. The cool things like just buying furniture, buying things for your house. You want to have money set aside. And also for the times where you first get moved in, get it adjusted to making a mortgage payment. This may be your first time having a mortgage payment, right? So if you have money set aside, this by itself relieves stress. And say you did have a lot of money saved. Not everyone is able to do that. But if you do have money in your account that's set aside for your savings account or your checking account, but you have money in there to make moves, it relieves stress. And I'm real big with not being stressed out when you're going through your process. So you have money in there to write a check for your earnest money deposit. You have money in there for your home inspection. You got money in there for your home appraisal, which are things that are prepaid before you make it a settlement. So even if you go through down payment assistance, usually I've never seen those parts covered before you actually go to settlement. So be prepared to paying for those items up front. Now, those numbers could change, but the biggest thing is to save, 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 save. So if you save enough money, that may eliminate you having to ask for seller help. So what seller help is, or seller concessions, that's when you're looking to purchase a home and you need the seller to help you with your closing costs. But if you have enough money there, you may not have to ask for that. The reason why a lot of times that might be important, because that may separate you when you write your offer from 5 other people that need assistance. But since you save your money, you're not going to need to ask for assistance. So that usually puts you higher up when they're looking to approve people for the offers on the houses that are out there. So things to consider. The other thing is don't forget about your investments. So if you have a 401k out there, give them a call and find out how much could you use of your 401k for your real estate purchase. That's missed a lot too. So look at every angle you can. So away from your typical down payment assistance, find out can you use your money from your 401k to help assist you with your purchase. And you could use all of those things. So money from the 401k, your money from your checking account, savings account that you save, put money aside for that, your down payment assistance, and seller help. There's a lot of different ways that can help you out with your real estate purchase in 2025 and 2026. But get familiar with your financials. Get familiar with that, because a lot of times, people call the lender and just hope and pray that everything's going to work out for them. But I love when I speak to a client that's prepared. So they call in, Gary, look, my credit score is a 720. I got this amount of money saved. My debt ratios are here. I got a juicy 401k that I can use. My company is going to provide money for my purchase, or I got gift funds. That's another thing. You can get gifts from your parents. You can get gifts from family members, your friends. If they want to donate $5,000, $10,000. I know everyone can't do that, but trust me, I see those type of transactions. So all those ways of getting you into a home is doable, and not even talking about refinancing. But if you look at all these factors that I kind of touched today, to me, it would make life so much easier for you. And that way, this can help you make that decision. Are you ready to purchase? Are you ready to refinance right now? If you keep all these things in order, that decision may be a little bit easier, because as long as you can rightfully afford that payment, you can always refinance later. But if you are looking to purchase that house and you want that dream home, whatever this scenario is, if you do things the right way, it makes life a lot easier. Because like I said, it could be 2% interest rates out there, but if your credit score is a 520, if you don't have any money saved, if your debt ratios are super high, then you're not going to qualify anyway. So it doesn't matter. So my thing is, get yourself prepared for the end of the year, for the new year 2026, and let's get these things in order. And beyond just the mortgage itself, if you have your stuff together like this, you can get a personal loan, you can purchase a car. All these things help you out big time. But if you have any questions about your credit or your debt ratios, or how much money you should have saved, is it a good time to buy now or wait later? Whatever your question is, make sure you put that down in the comments, and I'll be able to jump in there and answer those questions for you. But in the meantime, if you know someone that needs this video, make sure you share. Make sure you share it. But yeah, just subscribe to the channel. I'm be putting these things out all the time and give you the information that you need in order for you to succeed in any environment. So it's not just for when the rates drop or whatever. You want to set yourself up so you can purchase in any market. So that's what I'm here for. All right. Got any questions? Hit me in the comments, and we'll take it from there. So don't forget to subscribe and share the video. Peace.